Good morning. My title of this sermon today is Theobiology of Sabbath. I'm a physician, and all of you know the theology of the Sabbath. But what I had the trouble with the Sabbath was that why do you have to rest on Sabbath day? Why rest? What's wrong with the not resting, And I asked the question many times, and that answer was, because God rested on seventh day. I thought that was a very unconvincing answer. I could not agree with that. Of course, God rested on Sabbath day, but why should I? He was tired, so he can rest, right? Why should I rest when I don't want to rest, right? So I cannot really accept that answer as a proper answer, that why we should rest on Sabbath day. You know what that means? If you have a Seventh-day Adventist family, and you are the father of the family, and then you come from work, Daddy is tired, Daddy's gonna rest. That means everybody else rest? Daddy's tired, he's tired, Why you should rest, right? You should study. You should play. And so I guessed all by myself in my own heart, I guess that's not the reason. There should be better reason to rest on Sabbath than that. Okay. Then one day I found this scripture. Yeah, Jesus did not rest on Sabbath day, right? Jesus worked very hard. In fact, the hardest working day of Jesus is Sabbath day, In fact, Sabbath is the day I work hardest too. Sometimes on Sabbath day, I give talk all day long. Well, today seems to be that kind of day, right? Yeah. I started with Sabbath school already. And then afternoon, I talk to youth group. Then late afternoon, I talk to adult group again. Then they say, oh, it's so good, Dr. Lee, would you please talk to us again after supper? Yeah. Well, I'm not resting on Sabbath day. Yeah. I work hard, see? Just like Jesus worked hard on Sabbath day. Okay. Now, why should we rest on Sabbath day? Well, look at this. Jesus worked hard on this Sabbath day too. Jesus went to Pool of Bethesda, and he knew there's a man waiting for him. This man is incredible man. Did this man know Jesus? Do you know? Did this man know Jesus before? No, he didn't. He didn't know who Jesus was. I was wondering, I thought about this man a lot. Nobody knows what the name of this man is, but this man is a quite famous man in the Bible, isn't it? Yeah. Why God put this man on the Bible? I have talked to many patients, but you know what? They could not really keep on having hope after 2 years. This man has been sick, 38 years. Yet he has what? His hope alive. Isn't that incredible? Right? He is keeping his hope alive in the situation that he cannot hope for anything. Why? Because he was the guy who is believing in that going into the water, the Pool of Bethesda, when water moves. Everybody believes that the angel comes down to the water sometimes and shake the water. Then that's the time If anyone get into the water first, will be healed. Is that true? Yeah, many people were healed that way. But is that true? Is that true? You gotta be clear about this. It's false. It's a deception. Who does that kind of trick? God will never do that kind of thing, you know. Whoever comes into the water, what? First. You know what that implies? Whoever works harder, whoever is more able, God will favor. That's what Satan teach. So it is a satanic trick. See? So everybody believe in satanic trick as if it is an angel of God comes down, you know, and do that. It is so pitiful that many people don't understand this. So that story tells us so many people are what? Deceived in healing. See? And yet this man, been sick for 38 years. What kind of man is this? This man apparently is what? Not really able to walk by himself to get down there to the pool himself. He need what? He's the kind of person need what? Need help. Somebody else's help. But is there any help for him? No. Why should you wait there? Right? It is silly to wait. That number one, you cannot make it yourself. Number two, you need help. Number three, you don't have help. So should you wait there? It's ridiculous. It's silly to wait there. It's stupid to wait there. But this guy waited. Why? Tell me why. He believed in God. Even though he had what? Nobody to help him. He did not have his own ability to get down himself. And then second what? He has nobody else. But he still had somebody what? God. That's why. This is an incredible guy. See? That's why he had what? He had hope alive yet. You cannot keep up hope yourself. See? The many Christian patients I talked to, they said, I have hope in God. But God does not do whatever they want to do in 2 years. They give up. God does not listen to me, they say. But this guy, can you imagine? For 38 years, he did not give up his hope. He did not know who Jesus was. But he knew God. Why? Because God will what? God knows what he wants. That's what he believed. See? Does he have any kind of quality that he can be favored by God? I don't think so. He's been busy, sick. For how long? 38 years. Did he do any good thing for the church? I don't think so. Did he give lots of money to the church? I don't think so. He hasn't done anything for the church. See? Yet, he believed what? God loved him. God will come. God will come and heal. You know? God will come and what? Put him into that water. Even though he believed in wrong system, but the God he believed was what? The true loving God. The God who will never give up on anyone. Right? That's the way he was. Okay, I don't have time to talk about him because it's so much fun to talk about him, really. And I'll do it next time. But let me get back to Sabbath. Okay. Yeah. So Jesus came, and Jesus healed him, and even though he does not know Jesus, and then where did Jesus go after Jesus healed him? You don't know? He went to temple. Why? Why Jesus went to temple? Because this guy who was healed will come to temple. Why? Yeah, because this guy will think is believing what? God sent whoever this is. He didn't know that Jesus, right? So rather than thanking to Jesus himself, he was going to go to what? Temple to thank what? God who sent Jesus for him. See? He knew God, right? He knew God. Isn't that wonderful? So Jesus went to temple. Now, Jews were unhappy because Jewish Sabbath was what kind of Sabbath? Not to do anything Sabbath. Okay? What was it? Okay, say it again. Not to do Sabbath. That's Jewish Sabbath. You know what Jesus' Sabbath is? To do what? To do good Sabbath. Jesus stressed Sabbath is the day to do. To do. It's not to do. Okay, that's not it, right? To do. To do what? Good. That's why many times Jesus says, I don't have time to show you all the scripture. Jesus says what? To do good is lawful on Sabbath day. That's what Jesus says, right? Yeah. So Jesus is always focusing on what would you do on Sabbath day if your horses, if your cows fall into what? Yeah, ditch. Yeah. Aren't you gonna pull him out, right? So Jesus is always talking about doing something good on Sabbath day. See? And these Jews misunderstood that. See? That's why we have what? The old covenant was misunderstood by Jews. That's why Jesus come back and give them what? New Sabbath, which was same as old Sabbath anyway. Jesus reinterpret Sabbath in original way, right? Yeah. So that's why, since this morning Sabbath school was, old covenant and new covenant, let's just review this. Okay. Okay. You search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life. And these are they which testify of what? Of me. All the so-called old covenant is what? Revealing Jesus, but Jews did not see Jesus. See? But you are not willing to come to me that you may have life. What does this mean? Verse 40. You know what this means? In Old Testament, you did not see me. Why? Because you did not want to have a life. See? So we refuse Jesus, which is in the Old Testament. The Jews did. That's why Jesus says this. If you knew Moses, you could what? Love me. All the Jews thought that they knew Moses inside out, right? But Jesus says, you didn't know Moses. That's why you don't know me. Even though you think you know Moses. right? So, we think we know Sabbath today, right? But did you see Jesus in Sabbath day? You know, most of us didn't see Jesus in Sabbath day yet. Why? Because Jesus' Sabbath was to do good Sabbath. Now we know the Sabbath not to do anything Sabbath. That means, do we see Jesus in Sabbath day? No, we didn't. That's why we hate Sabbath. Even though we pretend we love Sabbath. See? When you don't see Jesus in Sabbath day, we hate Sabbath day. You know, we grew up hate Sabbath day. I wish sun goes down fast, you know. What time is it? You know? We want Sabbath, go away, you know. Go away, Sabbath, don't come back, you know. Yeah. What a hypocrisy. You know why? Because we haven't seen Jesus in Sabbath day. That's why. Because you haven't done anything good on Sabbath day. That's why you hate Sabbath day. See? Now we need to what? Rediscover Sabbath day. Right? Yeah. Do you have to know? You have to know. We do have to know how wonderful Sabbath day. For the Sabbath day to be wonderful, we need to find the Jesus in the Sabbath day, right? Yeah. Okay, so look at it. So you can see Jesus is doing good on Sabbath day, right? Yeah. Okay. So he healed this patient. Yeah. And so Jesus answered them, my Father has been working until now. My. Is God resting on Sabbath day? No. Jesus says, my dad is working hard every Sabbath day. That's why I do work, right? Wow. Now, you can never say again, we rest because God rests. Okay. According to our logic so far, when you find this out, then now you have to say what? Oh, God works on Sabbath day, therefore we go to work. See? Yeah, that's right. So therefore, you cannot say, please don't say, we rest on Sabbath day because God rests. That's very legalistic reason to rest on Sabbath day. What if, you know, your Mormon friend comes to you, show this Bible verse. Hey, did you say you rest on Sabbath day because God rested? Then what are you going to say? How stupid you feel, right? No, don't. You must have a better reason than that, right? And I was stuck on this, you know? And I had to be prepared to the Mormons, to the Baptists, you know, to really tell them why I rest on Sabbath day. Why people has to rest on Sabbath day. See? Because God rested, it's not good answer at all. No. As soon as they hear that answer, wow, indeed, the Adventists are what? Legalists. You know. Right? We are, you know. In many ways, we are. We need to admit that. Then we have to get out of it, right? If we don't admit that, how can we get out of it? You know. Yeah. So it is important for us to really admit this. Now, Jesus heals many patients on Sabbath day. Sabbath seems to be a very healing day. Wow. Where's my gene? Oh. Can you hold this? Yeah. Thank you. You look strong. So. Okay, here's my gene, my slinky gene. Our body is made of all different kinds of what? Cells. Brain cell, liver cells, skin cell, kidney cells. It's the cells, right? If your cells are sick, then you're sick. If your cells are healthy, you're healthy. Do you know what determines the health of the cell? Do you know what determines a character or function of the cell? Gene inside the cell. Okay. So gene look like this. Gene look like this. Okay. What is this chemical which makes gene? You know very well. DNA is right. So DNA is look like this. DNA has this one, just like a slinky. Okay. Actually, this is a single slinky, but real DNA is a double slinky. That's the only difference. And DNA has, there's another slinky together. There's a double slinky. And our genes, like when you listen to Mala's song this morning, right? You felt wonderful. You even clapped. I don't know whether it is allowed to clap in the sanctuary or not. You know? But you did. That means what? You liked it. You felt what? You felt good. Why? Because in your brain cell, endorphin is produced. Because Mala sang. You know? So when you listen to the music, wow, oh, then you know what's happening? The endorphin gene, which was this yellow gene, which was inactive when you got into this sanctuary, then as soon as you hear Mala's song, activated. See? That's why this gene is now producing endorphin. See? When she, what's your name? Kylie? When Kylie was waiting for mom to come back from grocery store. And Kylie was waiting and waiting. Mom isn't coming back. Finally, oh, there's a mommy's car coming. Kylie has what? Eee! Right? Yeah. Mommy's back. You know, then Kylie's brain cell, the endorphin gene is activated by mommy's coming back. You know? I hope your gene activate, then you know Jesus coming soon. You know? Really. Because it all has to do with our genes. So if your all other genes we have in our body, about 36,000 different kinds of genes. If all these genes are active and working good, then you're happy and healthy. See? But we're sick because some of the genes are broken, some of the genes are not active, you know, when it should be active. So it is a gene problem causing all these sicknesses. Long time ago, we thought gene is only involved with what? Sort of hereditary diseases. But now we know that's not true. Even though you have a wonderful, healthy gene you inherit from your parents, if you live a wrong lifestyle, then your gene will be broken or even altered. And the gene is not working properly. Then that means you're sick. See? So no matter how good gene you got from your parents, if you live wrong, gene can change anytime. That's what scientists found out. Gene is changeable. You know that? Yeah. That's why scientists are now making gene map. That's what we call Human Genome Project. See? So in all different kinds of diseases, you find the different genes are getting wrong. See? Okay, let me show you gene map just for a second. Okay, let's see. Oh. Okay. Let me show you gene map. Called Human Genome, right? Look at this. Chromosome number 1, we have 23 pairs of chromosome in our cells, right? And then, look at this. This is chromosome number 1. There's all the location of the genes, different genes like this, right? If this gene goes wrong, you have prostate cancer. If this gene goes wrong, you have glaucoma. If this gene goes wrong, then you have Alzheimer's disease. See? So it's all genes. Your gene can change. See? Look at it. Chromosome number 3, if you have this gene goes wrong, you have what? What? Lung cancer. See? Well, all kind of, see? Malignant melanoma, obesity. See, to gain weight, your gene has to change. You know that? So when you're younger, you never had a weight problem. That means this gene, or we call it the obesity gene, was normal, functioning fine. But when you become 40 years old, somehow that gene is not working. Then you begin to gain weight. See? So watch out your gene, right? Protect your gene. If you live unhealthy lifestyle, your gene will change and adapt to your unhealthy lifestyle. That's why we need to live healthy lifestyle, to keep the original program of the gene. See? Yes. Now we know that. So, so look at that, breast cancer. You don't have just breast cancer because it's so unfortunate. In your lifestyle, somehow you did something wrong to change your breast cancer gene. When that genes go wrong, then you have breast cancer. There's always a reason for that. See? Okay? So, then what really injures and changes your genes? See? The most common reason that you have a gene injury is coming from something called superoxide radical. All your cells produce superoxide radical, even normally. Even right now, your cells are producing superoxide radical. But the superoxide radical can be neutralized, very well in your body because your liver will produce some good stuff called, why can't I say that? From the liver, there's an enzyme called, okay. One second, I have to, okay, let me show you. Okay. So, this is your cell. The cell, this is, the sugar comes in, oxygen comes.
Свят, 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 Господь Саваот, исполь небо и земля, слави Твоея, осана во вишних, благословен грядиво имя Господне, осана во вишних.